Всем привет. Так, ну что, обновление 2.8. Надо немножко поиграть, да клипы крутить. А вдруг получится выбить все созвездие на кли. Текст. Текст. Я тут в Лию телепортнулся, сразу задание дали. Ну что, погнали.
あ、ケイシー、久しぶりだな。こんなところで会うなんて奇遇だな。仕事は順調か？
君たちやカンウ先輩のおかげでだんだん慣れてきたわ。でも最近仕事中に気が散ってしまいがちで、話すと長くなるんだけど、父上が
天王寺に何かあったのか？
正確には父上曰く体の不調はないらしい。誰しもいつか老いる日が来るってよくそう言っていたけど、実際に顔のシワがどんどん深くなっていくの。そうだ、父上は今頑丈茶室の2階にいるから、父上は君たちのことをすごく気に入ってるみたいだから、もし話。
そうだな。
Пойдем. Встретимся. Расчетливый гамбит. Выполненные эти в храме испытания элементы перезагрузкой заряжен. Это где такое? Ладно.
あああ
Так, а что там за... Это задание Архонта? А вот. Вижу. В смысле, мне наверх нужно, что ли?
よやよや
Ну да.
天王寺遊びに来たぜ。
Мы пришли поболтать.
これはまた珍しい客だ。歓迎するよ。慶心や下にいる店長に新しく届いた茶を入れてくるよう頼んで。聞いたところによると、お前さんたちはいろんな場所に行ってるらしいな。わしもお前さんたちの冒険談をぜひ聞いてみたいよ。もう慶心から聞いているようだな。だが心配するな。体は大したことないんだ。歳月年を重ねるにつれ、いろんなことが思うようにこなせなくなってな。ここ最近皆はわしを高く評価してくれているが、ボケないうちに天
数の座を譲るのって面倒なんじゃないのか？
リーゆえ七世の中でも天数は比較的特殊な存在なんだ。歴代の天数はほとんど公には出ず、その多くは背後で策を考える裏方だった。公開選考に向く役職じゃない。 それに候補者ができるだけ各方面や勢力からの影響を受けないようにしたい。だからそんなわけで一般的に天数の公認というのは前任天数の意見と残りの
つまり天王寺が候補者を推薦して国政や行幸たち。
そうだ。だが今のわしの体調を考えると候補者を一人まあ心配する必要はない。このために能力の秀でた視察官を特別に連れてきた。
誰のことだ？
あら、ひどいわね。この間会ったばかりなのにもう私のことを忘れちゃったのかしら。そうよ、天王寺に頼まれて私が3名の候補者を調査することにした。
Добро пожаловать.
君も一緒に来ない？次の天数と事前に知り合える。
お前はどう思う？だよな、おいらもそう思うぜ。
じゃあそれで決まりね。そういえば天王寺、あなたは普段光の当たらない裏で策を企てるのが好きみたいだけど、私も闇の中での行動には慣れてるわ。
イエランも天数になりたいのか？
わしは構わんが、お前さんは行幸とも長い付き合いだろう。彼女、ではこうしよう。もし視察の結果。
いいわ。ま、このことは別に急ぐ必要はないものね。それと後で1階で会いましょう。それまで君たち、それから代金はいらないわ。頑丈茶室の新たな主として質のいいお茶ぐらいはご馳走させて。
Понятненько.
話は済んだかしら？
Так, а остров не вели? Или вели остров? Не посмотрел.
天王寺、元気なさそうでずっと。
ええ、こんなことを言うのは気の毒かもしれないけれど、今の天王寺の精神状態じゃこれほど。天王寺の推薦した候補者は全部で3名。官位、明伯。官位は豪商の生まれよ。明伯はリーグへ総務士に勤めていて、なんとなく覚えておいて。まあ忘れてしまっても大丈夫なんだけどね。
官位、明伯、それから地位。どうにか。
その話は月海亭についてからにしましょう。気合を入れておいて。これは七星交代という一大事。
わかった。ちゃんと目をかっぴらいていくぜ。
Даже моргать не будем. Тестовый сейчас делаем сразу.
元気出してよ。
風の行く先をほれやし雲なく借りなく時ほれせい風を知れはっ行こうかほれはっはっふっ風よ風の雲の行くごとやっそこだ。
Прикольный перс. Надо бы себе как-нибудь его заиметь. О! Это у меня есть.
岩の重さは安心できます。へい、はあ、やあ、なんなの、へへ。おお、全部ドカーン。はっ、ボンボン爆弾。やっ、へい、よい、へへ。よいしょ。
Конечно, японский прикольный, но озвучка Гли это английская. Да. Ну-ка, ты у нас что умеешь делать? О, и здесь страйкер. Трукер. И здесь есть трукер. Мгм. А, ежедневки нужно делать. Понятно. Мгм. Хорошо. Так, а чё в магазине есть? Мгм. Трекер. Ну, теперь можно и клей мне выдать. Джин, да? Печалька, печалька. Джин выпала. Ну, зараза. Red Bull, да. В БДО страйкера хватает, и здесь тоже страйкер. Погоди, а чё, Джин не засчитывается, да? А, понятно. Блин, ну хреново.
One, two, three,
Персонаж, которым я не играю.
four, and
Ну Ну, надо будет посмотреть тогда ее. Проиграл 8 раз 50 на 50 подряд. Да. Да, вот я тоже на кле думал крутить. Прям. Мне, кстати, в прошлый раз также джин выпало, но мне подвезло. Ну, я когда Яку выбивал, то джин выпало. Но мне повезло, что я на следующей крутке выбил ее. Ну да, да, да. Я-то вообще созвездие Кли хотел. Ладно, посмотрим. Не, мне вот, честно говоря, последний раз завезло, что я вот джин выбил, через 10 круток я выбил Аяку. Потом я крутил на деда, то же самое. Выпало цицы, а на следующей 10-й крутке выпал и дед. Поэтому я не скажу, что прям мне не везет. Ну, бывает.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stay.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just...
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it.
Понял.
Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Ming, look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand.
Fine.
Хорошо, буду знать.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Еще 30.
One of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as
что-то
the new
говорили
Tianshi
этот.
will be expected to implement their plan as
Золотое
before
яблоко
in the
вроде должны были
manifesto.
переделать. Да, как у архипелаг. Что-то я не вижу здесь в заданиях. Не
Following
вели его,
the occurrence
походу.
of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, there's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done.
Чё нет? Ладно. Угу. И я должен сделать.
Finished, huh?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianji. And keep in mind, Whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. That's for me to know and you to find. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you?
А, да. В смысле, двое, тут трое. 2,5, 2/4, он витает.
I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp.
Mind your tone, mister.
Да, пойманная консерва, ага. Летающая консерва.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition.
Еще
Perhaps
как он
you
ее
will be able to
дынькой, да,
understand the
назвал?
concepts I have put forward. Yeah, although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days?
Да, маленькие вообще любят покушать.
My current work is related to urban planning, and
Что
I'm also
в
responsible
жизни,
for,
что в этом,
auditing
что
the
в
accounts.
игре.
To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
Ну
You know
да.
what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and...
Oh, okay.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my...
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into...
Very
Прямо
fair
вот.
question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto, of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending...
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your...
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals if it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results.
Nice answer. All right.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent, but he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't... Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous, but he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not...
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more. You're good at this, Yuan.
Last but not least, Zhi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details. His methodology, the depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work.
Вот и сделали выбор, да?
What really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like...
Great.
We'll see.
Так ненароком определили, что это GE, да? Это что за задание? Ну, давай куплю. Так, мне наверх. Вот это нужно. У меня что-то в магазине висит, а я купить не могу. Забаговалось, в смысле? Ну, у меня, по крайней мере, пока ничего такого не было. Тут я не смог что-то купить. А, за что-то получил или ранее просто было куплено?
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
Понял, понял.
All right. Then let me ask this. The ideas in
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Jury was with me for the longest duration.
Вот так, про запас.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tian?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing also. Jury came from a poor family, and his parents
16
died
лимонов.
when he was
Что мне
very
говорили,
young.
что потом
But he was
Мора
a
уходит,
gifted
прям
student
мама не
and a
горюй.
fast learner. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got up quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature
Пока
young
персов
man.
качаешь.
It's a
Понял.
joy the young are growing up.
Ну, в
and
принципе,
I am growing
персов я
old.
еще качаю.
How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me.
Понял, понял.
You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Да, по сравнению, конечно, я в основном в Black Desert катаю, да. Там, блин, деньги расходятся. Даже когда ты там гир поднимаешь, все равно деньги постоянно улетают. Нету такого, чтобы у тебя там много серебра было. Но если сегодня есть, завтра его уже нет. Обязательно там потратишь.
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally
Ты
have
знаешь,
a good
самый прикол
reason
в
to
том, что
retire and spend my
БДО тоже
days doing
это,
what old men like
можно
me
сказать,
should be
соло-игра.
doing.
Потому что основное
Going
время ты там
fishing
соло.
whenever I feel like it.
Да, да. Там вот, кстати, в Black Desert как раз-то я понял, что оно все пригодится. Все там собираешь, все. Вот все итемки, все нужно хранить. Потому что сегодня они тебе не нужны, но проходит там пару патчей, и вот именно эту итемку, да, которых там было куча, народ выбрасывал или просто торговцам продавал, потом она необходима. И там ее скупают по бешеным ценам.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tian.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time.
Fresh fish soup. Sounds tasty.
Doesn't it?
Вечно
Also,
голодная.
some time ago, Jury purchased up when we've been fishing recently. Jury always brings that flavor makes for a fond memory.
Oh, can Paimon come next time too? Paimon really wants to try it.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tien, we've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
Mm-hmm. I appointed you as the... Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Remember, you...
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Juri, right? His manifesto was written well.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not all... The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always... For example... Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They, as my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various... Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading.
Твой из ларца
Wenyuan
одинаково с
relies on word of
лица.
mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Можно и так.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through...
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
А GE мы, да?
Well, obviously, as the most promising candidate, we will be Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of one? He does business at the North Wharf. Maybe...
That's actually not a bad idea. Let's go and ask him.
Пойдем, поговорим.
What's Bulai doing here today?
Ну это у китайцев же там именно такие
Your
интересные.
asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Ну, у китайцев-то это нормальные имена. Это нам непривычно слушать. Ну да, да-да. Ну, подумаешь. Из одного перса они сделали еще двух. Нормально же. Был ху Тао, а получилось Тао и ху. Нормально.
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsettia. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so.
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us wants that.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price.
Нормально, но
What are you doing
прокатил.
here? And to be clear, these Sunsettias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any...
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you...
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he returned cruelty with kindness. Injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... how did I know?
He sounds like a decent man. We can...
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't... Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
Where? Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, let's follow the... Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as...
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this.
Торговцы такие торговцы.
Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking...
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you.
Сомневается.
Try not to let him see you. We want this...
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
Такой скрытый ниндзя, да? Ползет за ними.
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very
Да не, он
thoughtful of
это
you.
камушек.
Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Я точка. Ага.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see.
Крадущаяся
I'll
такая
be sure
тень.
to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Угу.
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great...
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Do we have to? Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be...
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
Все,
We will?
подкупили.
Come on! Off to the South Wharf we go!
Короче, сейчас явно в чем-то подвох будет. Да мне кажется, она не переобувается. Уже всем давно известно, что подкупить едой легко. Как вызвать пайман, да? Ну да, а Мора ей для чего нужна, чтобы купить еду? Так что зачем посредники? Сразу еду. Да. Вызвать пайман легко. Просто нужно сказать еда. Ну да. Поэтому зачем посредники? Лучше
Wharf
сразу
is as
еда.
busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers.
Пойдем.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the, we've heard about this young man called Jur-E who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to
Ага.
have heard of him?
Как будто это там по делам помощница Кицин, да? Этот известный путешественник, они представляются как этот клуб, да, ловителей рыбы. Нормально.
Yeon made up a whole fake identity. Without
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well,
Yeah, we think so too.
but I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why is that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though...
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to.
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Рыба. Мгм.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000.
В смысле, 3 рыбы 1001, 3, смотри ты. Какая-то у тебя математика неправильная.
You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society...
Wow, she switched identity again.
Society for Fish Price Research. I haven't done any.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Jur-E who's been selling fresh...
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this, I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So it's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most... nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him. That's all.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely...
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honored to meet you. What brings you to me?
Герой по
The
делу.
truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to...
Really?
People said I know everything there is to know?
But of course. We also heard that Master Dooku is a kind and
А,
virtuous
острова завтра
swordsman
открою.
who never turns away anyone
Хорошо.
who comes with questions.
Угу.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to
Теперь она
us.
ребенка обманывает.
So, Master Dooku,
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about? I've heard many tales of jury.
Ой, я уже
It's
забыл.
nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember...
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Угу.
Huh?
Подкупился?
What do you mean?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dooku is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dooku.
Until we meet again.
Угу.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Ji seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gas look high.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost seems...
Sudden? Too good to be true? What do you mean?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. Do you remember what Doogu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening his childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So,
When you put it like that, it is.
of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the... The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying... Right. And that changes everything. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic...
Someone's trying to gain influence over the chief. Even if we asked Jiri about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement, whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. Come on, let's get back to Yen.
Ладно. А, погоди, мне теперь вовнутрь надо зайти. Нет. Значит, сюда, да, опять. Угу.
Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up? It'll be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get—
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have—
Ну, давай читать.
Even though Yelan took half, well, we gotta start somewhere.
Все, не буду читать.
Oh, this reading is giving Paimon a headache. Let's take a...
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers, Shanghua! If you're back, that means you finished investigating Tianwei, right?
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always...
Don't drag this out. Just tell us—
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Tianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive... The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Tianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Tianwei's accounts are open to the public. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Tianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think—
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh? How come you're here?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills, and am always one step ahead of the competition. Well...
You... Whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I had... Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating Minghua.
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Minghua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of...
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs...
I don't believe so. Mingbo is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbo to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbo gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't...
Whoa, that's hard to imagine.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah, so that's what you meant by that. Paimon's starting to get it now.
Thank you both. You're free to go now.
Загрызет насмерть.
So, Have you finished reading the manifesto?
We still have a bit left.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Chengshu Pool Chengshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more at some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by... The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure... Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems... Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this trip. Did you find anything?
Excavation, project, treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of... Oh yeah! Juri said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first...
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Juri's...
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put... Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge...
Shenwei and Mingbo both turned out to be completely different than what... What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain.
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
Standing guard. So bad.
So, anything strange been going on recently?
Так еще протяжно, ненавязчиво. Ничего странного не происходило.
What's that?
Just, you know, stuff that when it happens, you think to yourself,
Huh?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere asking questions.
what's this?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems we don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't
You think there's a...
Yes. Look, it says right at this rate, by the time the Chengshu Pool redevelopment plan, that'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Juri
Здорово,
recognized
Кризис.
the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, no red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than... That's the advantage of planning this far in advance.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have so... who's...
That's a question for the newcomers.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the newcomers.
You want them to teach you or
Хотите
something?
поучиться у них?
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills unbelievably fast. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join them. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other over time.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife.
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor to drink. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon... Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go.
Туда, где
Looks
потише.
like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily.
А, не надо просто по следам идти.
He went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
Вот это я понимаю, скрыто двигается. Хоп.
These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination...
Че нормально. В заброшенном доме самое то выпить. Что интересно в Геншине? Вот сестра просила делать ежедневки, так там вообще сколько течи. Уперся 3 атаки, ешь какие... А тут, знаешь, в чем прикол? Здесь, допустим, стихии есть, да? Огонь, вода, электричество. Ну, и они взаимодействуют, вызывают элементарные реакции. Вот, грубо говоря, если я сначала вот повешу гидроэффект, да, на врагов, а потом пироэффектом ударю, то образуется пар, и, соответственно, повышается урон. Если я сначала наложу гидро, да, водой, ну, грубо говоря, водными атаками, а потом нанесу ледяной атакой, да, кривоуроном, то этот враг замораживается. И еще этот всякие там эффекты бафают, дебафают и тому подобное. То есть, если я вот, когда переключаюсь, вот у меня и Барбара Хиллер, да, с нее переключаюсь на другого персонажа, у него повышается атака. Ну, так что тут не совсем прямолинейно, как в БДО. Чисто этот, как гир и все. Здесь именно команда. То есть 4 персонажа, и все они друг друга дополняют. Так, что тут было? О, исследовать.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working
Странно,
for.
по-английски она сказала,
But
что
all
мы
the
сильно
evidence has been
опоздали,
destroyed.
а здесь немного опоздали. Вернее, она сказала слишком поздно, а перевод немного опоздали.
Look at these ashes. Someone...
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could...
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically...
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge? They've got...
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's mysterious. To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else.
Darn!
Make no mistake. The purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
А, ну да, здесь не так. Здесь не так. Давай, Рыдбол, давай. Спасибо тебе. И хорошо отдохнуть.
Really? Paimon can't smell anything anything.
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little when that fragrant ink is burned. This is the exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can. But it's all I need. Now I know who we're.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Zhiyi's regular contacts. Since Zhiyi likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors, so he took a boat out. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up and I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Zhiyi before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up... When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I...
Well, Uncle Tian said that Zhiyi once bought a recipe
What? That's news... No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful...
Fish soup? What fish soup?
Nothing.
Fish soup.
Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on... Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Zhiyi, but the guy's too cautious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some...
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay... Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't...
Так, давай. Сразу промотаем. Самые захватывающие эмоции.
These bombs, so heavy.
Нет, так, знаешь, прикольная игрушка. Я говорю, я в нее играю, как бы немножко от этого отдыхаешь, от БДО. Так, по фану.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce the result. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush. Just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail. And Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. And because of his personality, he's... In contrast, Zhiyi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoys an excellent reputation after much consideration.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name be... In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future? And taking on...
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This...
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhiyi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official...
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order. Would anyone like...
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Zhiyi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow.
Hey, Traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
I, also wouldn't
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to...
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of them.
Lady Yelan, Jury has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
So Jury really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tien thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
Auto reconfiguration is an essential function.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lady Yelan. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without...
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's? I guess Juri didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired.
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tien himself. Evading detection... If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tien, you'd have ended up at a dead end too.
Shinue Kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching out. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option. So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask...
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. Let's go to Shinue Kiosk.
Не, а я-то, знаешь, как-то люблю по разнообразию. То есть в одну поиграть, в другую поиграть. Просто как-то, допустим, БДО я понятно, что больше времени уделяю. А здесь поменьше, но все равно. Так, по фану зайти, поиграть. Тем более сейчас обновление вышло.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit.
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question him?
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it...
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today.
Liquor and wineware.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques. Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a... We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering...
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi's.
Zhi picked up his set not long ago as a quality imitation of an antique wineware. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now...
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out.
But for this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is one...
Okay. Thanks, Linlong. Seems there's a little more to buying wine.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out...
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly...
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your
Yelan,
so is the plan... Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we can do.
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
First of all, Zhi isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meat now. This is a victory feast. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high stat. Now, where might we find Fatui who match the
Fatui officials. Should be...
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our...
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. In which case, we don't need to change...
Great idea! So we just need to find out...
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomat...
I'm well aware. But don't you see? Jur-E is gambling everything on this. If we really want to stick to your orders. And make sure we're covering all other bases too.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Jur-E may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night.
Так. Угу. Ну что, ждем ночи. А надо нажать на обновление. Там в правом нижнем углу у тебя будет обновление. Обновить, вернее. И все, начинает обновляться. Баннера, в правом нижнем углу баннера будет кнопка обновить.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy.
Chingshu Pool? That's the place...
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible. Chingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one...
Oh no, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is correct.
Неожиданный улов.
This is Chingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me.
В смысле, мне сюда нужно? Вот видишь? Они заморожены.
There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. I can't guarantee we'll be safe once we're underground. The workers left an emergency access route. If we can find it, this will be a much easier. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your...
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford...
Завтра еще архипелаг запускается.
As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
You guys see that? That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Ji. That must be the emergency access route, right?
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Life goes on. I'll protect us. Boing, boing, boing! Blazing delight! That really hurt! Dumpty, dumpty, go! Yeah!
А, вон огонек, все. Мне еще Геншин не понравился тем, что там долго, по сути, не поиграешь. Либо квесты делать с побочками. Ты сделал 4 женевки, слил смолу, или как там ее, и делать нечего особо. Ну, почему там можешь этих мобов пинать? Итемки, тебе для улучшения персонажа нужны итемки. Бегаешь их, собираешь.
The water's gone down. Hey, look! Is that another way through?
А, тьфу, блин, я тебя даже не заметил. Случайно наступил.
Rise. Let the show begin. My apologies. Yeah. Yeah.
А я думал, что-то надо сделать.
Let's dance.
Kamisato art. Sumetsu. Whirling snow.
Под камнем появился проход. Под каким камнем? А. Вон оно, что имелось в виду. Да ё-моё, это что такое?
The waters flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
А, понятно. 3 огненные на свет нужно пододвинуть. Ну, тоже от сервера зависит. Какая нагрузка на сервер идет. Сколько он может дать, сколько не может.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Привет.
Life goes on.
Take flight.
Сейчас увидел, что у меня, кажется, Елань есть. Ну, видишь, все зависит, какую пропускную способность ты оплачиваешь, покупаешь до серверов. И нагрузка тоже. И нагрузка на сервера.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Oh, sorry, that went down the wrong way.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one glass. I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking, more.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a...
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. But I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poison. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison, and came up with... what was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result.
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tien. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's why Uncle Tien... What a nasty guy! Seize him!
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qing. But soon, everything will be taken care of. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey.
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu, no matter how hard I work. The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment. I think you were absolutely right.
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow wider over time. Just look at your two competitors. Qian Wei had wealth. Ming Boa had reputation. But you had nothing. And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home for the rest of its life.
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told without complaining. Hey, keep up the good work, and I can assure you, you'll never have to worry about Mora again. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want. How about that?
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time. So do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's how well this goes for us depends on how Jur-E plays.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good...
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring...
Whoa, this is the good stuff. It is great. Huh?
Отравил?
Jur-E,
Отравили.
you poisoned my wine? But what?
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov.
How could you?
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my own teacher. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bow down to anyone ever again. And...
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I just...
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the
What?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become 1 as the truth gradually reveals itself. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the... but things didn't quite go to plan. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, it explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately.
Jur-E, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of... After I die, they'll come...
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second-in-command, Theophan?
What? How do you know about that?
Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, he has been eyeing your position for a...
That traitor!
Shh. Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And sweet dreams, Mr. Youth.
Та-та-та.
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely. Want to see them?
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite... I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them...
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien. Nothing else you wanted to add?
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that...
Your point being?
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I have?
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might, there's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tien ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tien, out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that...
That's enough!
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at yet. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then...
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the profession. Don't worry. As long as they're willing to cooperate, get some rest. See you tomorrow.
Понятненько. Так, где мой сундук? Вот он, мой сундук. Ничего здесь больше залутать нельзя?
Faster? Okay, faster.
Здорово, понял. Так, следующее утро, да, 8 утра. А, наверх. Точно.
There is now
Понятно.
no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baishu, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2. It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point...
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seems the Fatui are extremely Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tian will be heading off now. Remember to get...
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done. Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tian. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position. But Qianwei...
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily.
Is it just Paimon, or is...
Don't underestimate Uncle Tian. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about Zhi. Normally, the Yue High Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates. Isn't that right, Uncle Tian?
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. But I have to be responsible with the position of Tianshu. When I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. He just saw me as a... In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things.
I have to admit, he's a smart guy, and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Zhi was still extremely careful with the poisoning. He chose that specific liquor from Xunyue Kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison, and he chose to wait until the Fatui official was drunk and had his guard down before delivering it to... He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, Zhi would have...
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate...
How is Zhi now?
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to... Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be planning.
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him?
Yes, Zhi's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinates as soon as I realized. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook at the...
Uncle Tian? Yelan? What are you talking about? Paimon...
Zhi colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, with Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Zhi, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well, Did your plans...
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and but when we tried to make contact with Theophan,
The Fatui must be spying on us.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only It's a pity that Theophan got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue's...
I have to ask, Yelan. Do you have... I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang T...
Oh, that. I was obviously joking. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to... Alright, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading off again in a few days and
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people... If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tian. After the
Угу. Понятненько. Так, надо ежедневки тогда еще выполнить. Завтра уже архипелаг завезут. Можно будет по архипелагу полазить. Что-то я думал, сегодня будет.
Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain.
Так. Угу. Сюда.
Let's do this.
Сакура, Сакура, Сакура.
I'll protect us. Come on, we can do it.
Не то сделал.
Embrace the ice. Yeah, my apologies.
Такс. Ну, все. Можно собрать спокойно.
this.
Let me amuse myself a little.
Take flight!
Let the show begin.
Sakura swirl!
Такс. Так, все это 4 же было, да? 4. Теперь пойдем сдавать.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing. Ad Astra.
This realm is...
Так, все, да?
If you ever have any questions...
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Спаливаем побыстрее.
Life goes on.
I'll protect us. Boing, boing, boom! Yeah. Ooh.
Так, еще вы вспомните, какой я подземелье это фармил. На эти. Не помню, не помню, не помню. Подземелье я фармил. Так, а здесь что нужно, кстати, сделать? Давай сюда. Что-то там, короче, сделать нужно. Испытание завершено. А, стоп, подожди, надо посмотреть задание, что там нужно. Перегрузка и заряжена. Это что вообще такое? Угу. Анемо до фазы 3. Ясно. Давай закончим.
Race you! Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
You're in for a little shock. You've been a naughty boy.
Boba, get them! Nice and spicy! Boba, get them! Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Don't be such a brute. You're in for a little shock.
А, тут их не убивать, просто перегрузку вызывать. Ясно. Все, закончу по-быстрому.
Dodge this!
Come a little closer.
Freeze!
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
Cool it! Freeze!
Come a little.
Don't get frostbite.
Surrender and be gentle.
Let the show begin.
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
I'll protect us.
You've been a naughty boy.
Так, дальше.
Let the show begin.
Cool it! Dodge this! Cool it!
Let's dance.
Dodge this! This moment will be frozen in...
Give up.
Nice and spicy.
Cool it!
Надо еще щитом заблокировано. Понятно. Щит кончился. Так. И рассеивание, да? Рассеивание осталось.
Absorption test. Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Boba, get them. Animal hypostasis emulation.
Так. Ну, давай смотри. Это сделано. Так, здесь что нужно? Анема до фазы 3. Ага. Ну, пойдем. Скажи, где ты? А. Вот я не помню, как его убить. Давно уже бил. Так, ну давай вспоминать, как тебя бить-то.
Let the show begin. La la la. Boing boing boom. Boom. Woo.
Надо эти, да, собирать? Не помню, что делать нужно. Вроде так. Ну да, все-таки так. Так, давай мы тебя улучшим, возвышаем, возвышаем.
One.
Следующий. Ага. Так, Гео и Нему.
2, 3.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. I see.
4, 2. 2, 3.
Опять, да, нужно бить? Ну да. Ну ладно. Эх, что-то сегодня накрутки мне прям не везет. Угу. Тома. Понял. Ну ладно. В принципе. Завтра остров завезут, завтра побольше поиграем. Так, ладно. Попозже запущу тогда БДшку.